media is still losing their minds. They're fabricating stories. They're like no different, really, than these crazies taking to the streets, digging in their butt, except the media is digging for stories to go after the Trump administration. And it's really a fascinating thing to see on how they're trying to just target something. And once they think it somewhat works, well, then they just go full blown with it, whether it works or not. And that shows you just how far gone they are. I mean, it is a wild and bonkers thing. And I'm just realizing I'm blending into my background a little bit here. It's a little, we got to tighten this up a little bit, Brad. There we go. Now it's not as bad. Just like a floating head. Well, it's good to see you, Patriots, back here on this fine Thursday morning. It is, in fact, March 27th. We're almost through the week, and I know we're all waiting for the weekend because that's where I'm at right now. I need it. I need it, baby Jesus. But it's good to see all of you. Thank you for always choosing the Bald Brad Show as your morning kickoff. I think a lot of you, this might be your first. Is this your first podcast of the day before you jump into somebody else's? Let me know. Let me know. He didn't start with coffee. You know, we're trying things a little bit different today. I always like to, you know, switch things up. Sometimes it gets too normal. Alrighty. Well, let's jump right in the news because, well, we got a lot of it and it's never ending here. There is a coordinated attack by the media to go after the Trump administration regarding the Signal app. It is still the number one topic here on conservative media, Republican media, independent media. You know, it's Democrat and progressive media. Well, White House is blasting the Atlantic after release of more attack plan messages oversold. And the Trump administration clearly met as a team because you got JD Vance in the mix. You're going to have the CIA director, John Ratcliffe, in the mix. You're going to have Pete Hegseth here in a moment. You're going to have Kash Patel coming out. I mean, you had everybody, Pam Bondi, Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump. I mean, everybody and anybody in the Trump administration is coming out and saying there's nothing here. The White House on Wednesday accused the Atlantic of sensationalizing the content of additional attack plan messages that the outlet released after administration officials denied sharing classified information in a Signal group chat that its reporter was inadvertently added to. And the question was still, and we don't have an answer to this, who is the one that added this individual, meaning Jeffrey Goldberg, to the chat? Now, it says it was added by somebody named Mike Waltz. I don't know. Did somebody else tap into? Was this a deep state thing? Was this a CIA thing? I mean, who was the one that actually did it? And it could be a low-level staffer that gets the blame and gets the axe for this, or, you know, nothing happens. You have here the Atlantic's first article on the chat published Monday, just a couple days ago, left out messages that Goldberg said contained sensitive attack plans that could damage U.S. national security if released. Yeah, then you mean you probably shouldn't do it then. The outlet published those redacted messages on Wednesday after Trump officials denied on Tuesday that any classified information was shared in the group chat. There was no classified information, as I understand it, President Donald Trump said on Tuesday. The messages released by Goldberg were sent by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on the morning of March 15th, the day of the strike of the Houthis. The messages sent to the group roughly 2 hours before the strike was delivered. Weather is favorable, just confirmed with SETCOM. We are a go for mission launch. F-18s launch, trigger-based F-18 strike window, more F-18s launch. Strike drones on target, second strike. More to follow. We are currently clean on OPSEC. Godspeed to our warriors. Vice President J.D. Vance slammed Goldberg after the publication on the additional messages, accusing the Atlantic chief of sensationalizing the contents of the messages that he had originally kept from the public. It's very clear Goldberg oversold what he had. This is what I'm hearing, is that this guy thought he had some sort of bombshell story, and sick, you're talking about us blowing up a bunch of terrorists. Wow. Stop traffic, notify the newspapers. Everybody get out of the street, start yelling at the street corners because there's a nothing burger here. Whoa. Wow, they got text messages of us blowing up terrorists. Whoa, God forbid. That's terrible. Oh, man. God, we're going to go to war over this. But one thing is particularly really stands out. Remember when he was attacking Ratcliffe for blowing the cover for a CIA agent, turns out CIA Director Jonathan Ratcliffe was simply naming his chief of staff. The Atlantic, at the request of the CIA, kept redacted the name of Ratcliffe's chief of staff because the identities of CIA intelligence officers are typically protected. But when it comes out from the media, you know, it's no big deal. Now, again, there's a nothing burger here, folks, but here's CIA Director John Ratcliffe himself. He's shredding the Atlantic editor behind Signal story deliberately false. Is this another fabrication? Yes and no. If the messages are real and they seem to be real, then no, it's not a fabrication. But the narrative is that this is some huge thing. Oh my God, look, we caught them. We caught them on a Signal app talking to each other about blowing terrorists up. Oh God. Can I give you guys my honest take? I don't see what the story is here. Hand to God, I've read so much about this crap. And look, I am biased towards Trump administration, but even I just don't see what the big deal is here. Other than some knucklehead adding a journalist, which that's odd to me. You don't just randomly add a journalist phone number. So I think something nefarious happened. I think somebody behind the scenes needs to be fired. Now, who that is, I don't know. But how do you slip up adding a journalist to the chat that only has like 14 people in it or something? It didn't have a ton of people, folks. It wasn't like it was 200. Like, bring everybody in, get everybody you can. No. So something shady's going on. Ratcliffe made the remarks during testimony in front of the House Intelligence Committee alongside FBI Director Kash Patel. You had National Security Agency Director General Timothy, is it Hugh Hua? Bing bang, alalala bing bang. Defense Intelligence Agency Director General Jeffrey Cruz. My responsibility as CIA Director, one of its responsibilities is to kill terrorists. That sounds like a lot like what I've been saying. And that's exactly what I did along with President Trump's excellent national security team. That's what we should be focused on. Yes, sir. That's why we wanted you in there. Go boom, boom on the terrorists. Ratcliffe said that one of the major issues with the article was how it falsely suggested things that never happened. Can we also point out that it's odd that the Democrats are all for trying to keep terrorists safe? I mean, 9/11, yeah, it was a long time ago, but not that long ago. You know, if you round down, you're talking 20 years, not that long ago, folks. And it just takes 20 years to switch over and be loving terrorists again, according to the Democrat Party and Progressive Left. And they always say, you don't have proof of that, man. Really? The gang members that are being deported that are known terrorists that are going around killing people, murdering, raping, pillaging actual neighborhoods. Really? You're speaking up for those people more than you speak up for actual Americans. That's for damn sure. They're trying to, do you notice that they're speaking up more for, I know I'm going on a tangent. Do you notice they're speaking up more for these illegal violent gang members, one of the most violent gangs in the entire planet, than they are for the rights of conservatives and Republicans during COVID-19? Do you notice that? I didn't see anybody being vetted. As far as I'm aware, they were allowed to display their First Amendment speech and go and practice their religion wherever they want. It's their First Amendment. It's the number one thing in the books, baby. They had a problem with that. They had a problem during COVID when congregation members just wanted to worship their God. Doesn't matter what the religion is or faith. Weird. Huh. Odd. I just see an imbalance where they're always taking the side of the enemy. It's an odd thing. It really is an odd thing. Yes, a gang member is the enemy of the United States. I said it. Oh God, stop. Everybody let your friends and family know. Brad said that terrorists are an enemy. Gang members are an enemy of the state. Absolutely. Absolutely. I spent 4 hours answering questions from senators as a result of that article that were basically being transmitted classified information because they were hidden messages. Those messages were revealed today and revealed that I did not transmit classified information, and that the reporter, who I don't even know, I think intentionally intended to indicate that. That reporter also indicated that I had released the name of an undercover CIA operator in the Signal chat, he continued. In fact, I released the name of my chief of staff who is now operating undercover. That was deliberately false and misleading, which shows you that Goldberg has his head up his ass and he doesn't know what he's doing. And again, this goes with my idea of what I think is happening is they're throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what lands. And it shows you that there's no verifiable proof here that this guy actually followed up and did real investigative journalism beforehand. If he's going out and saying, he released a CIA operative, he can't be doing that. Did you not talk to anybody beforehand to see if he was a CIA operative or if this guy's name could be released or maybe not be released? Did you do any of that? By the way, no reporting on that. No follow through on any of that. At the end of the day, what is most important is that the mission was remarkable success, is what everyone should be and is focused on here, because that's what did happen. Not what possibly could have happened. That's what happened, baby. So here's the man himself putting in the work, letting them know.
So much talk about this Atlantic article and about things that were said and that could have happened instead of a focus on what did happen. So my responsibility as CIA director, one of its responsibilities is to kill terrorists. And that's exactly what I did along with President Trump's excellent national security team. That's what we should be focused on. With regard to that article, I also would appreciate the opportunity to relay the fact that yesterday I spent 4 hours answering questions from senators as a result of that article that were intimating that I transmitted classified information because there were hidden messages. Those messages were revealed today and revealed that I did not transmit classified information and that the reporter, who I don't know, I think intentionally intended it to indicate that. That reporter also indicated that I had released the name of an undercover CIA operative in that signal chat. In fact, I had released the name of my chief of staff, who is not operating undercover. That was deliberately false and misleading, and I appreciate the opportunity to reflect that my answers haven't changed. I used an appropriate channel to communicate sensitive information. It was permissible to do so. I didn't transfer any classified information. And at the end of the day, what is most important is that the mission was a remarkable success, is what everyone should be focused on here, because that's what did happen, not what possibly could have happened.
Democrats in the media are treating this Signal app in a higher level than they treated Hillary Clinton and her having a server, a private server with actual classified information on it in her bathroom. Furthermore, having classified information on personal phones, of which they smashed with hammers. See, that wasn't a big deal. No, it's fine. You smash stuff when you're not supposed to. You use bleach spit on a server when you're not supposed to. And then you go in front of Congress after your husband was president, after you were Secretary of State, not to mention the nonprofits you have and all the lobbying that you did. I didn't know. Didn't have a clue. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to smash cell phones. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to have a server in my bathroom. First of all, does anybody in here know anybody in their life? And those people that you may know, do they know anybody in their life, and so on and so forth, that's ever seen a server in somebody's bathroom? I don't think so. You'd be the first. Maybe the only, other than Hillary. But they're chalking this up. This is worse. This is worse than what Hillary did. This is terrible. How could they talk to each other killing terrorists? Because they're actually working. They're not like Joey, where everybody's sitting in one room together, watching him drool into a drip tray, trying to eat a fucking tuna sandwich. Okay? They're actually working. I know it's new to Democrats because they don't like to do it either. Kash Patel shuts down Democrat asking whether FBI should investigate Signal chat leak. It's just laughable. It really is. It is laughable. So you got this psycho Dem, and people go, well, how do you know she's a Democrat? Well, one, you could just look at her and tell. They act like these people are like incognito, that you can't tell when you see somebody. They're like, yeah, that person's crazy. This is the person that after this taping on C-SPAN, she was the one joining everybody out in the street corners barking at Teslas as they're going by.
Another day has passed. Do you
Well, actually, it was the night before the hearing.
now that another day has passed, do you believe that it's now time potentially for the FBI to open an investigation into this?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Because you're the director of the FBI, you don't believe it's appropriate to comment on that?
Because there's a process in place, there's an ongoing litigation, and the National Security Council is reviewing this matter. And I'm not going to discuss any open or closed
That
investigations.
ongoing investigation, literally, the lawsuit happened.
Come here. Come here. Shh, shh, shh. Come here. What do you guys think? Come on. No, no, no. What do you think? I rest my case.
Today or yesterday afternoon, and the idea that you don't have an opinion on this at this point is frustrating to me.
No, it's not.
My
I'm not going to
final
prejudge
question,
any
reclaiming my
matters,
time, my
and the men
final
and women of the
question, reclaiming
FBI
my
will
time, reclaiming
call
my
the
time,
balls and strikes.
reclaiming my time,
Not
sir.
you.
Sir, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to have.
Gentlemen.
1 second. What did that say? Now, you might be, Brad, you saw the clip already. Come on. I was right. That's a Democrat. You just know. You can snuff them out. You can see them. I mean, sometimes you can literally smell them coming down the street, but you can really just tell here.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to have.
Gentleman's recognized. You have
Thank
4
you.
seconds remaining.
No, I have more than
You have
that
2
because
seconds
Mr.
remaining.
Patel would not acknowledge
Gentlewoman's
me.
time has expired. Mr. Stubbe.
You have 4 seconds remaining. I have more time though. You got 2 seconds remaining. Please. You're done. You're finished. So Kash Patel's in the mix. I love Kash, man. Just the way he handles it, and he doesn't even let them finish speaking. He just keeps talking over them is absolutely awesome. The guy's one of the greats. He's going to go down as one of the greats. You have here Hegseth is also joining the mix on the Signal chat. I told you everybody's getting involved in this thing, which I think they need to. I think they do need to get in front of this. Is it a big deal to me? Absolutely not. I think it's a nothing burger, but it's still something that's in the news that everybody's talking about. And so when you go to somebody's podcast later, now you know Kash Patel's in the mix. Now you know what Pete Hegseth is saying. Now you know what John Ratcliffe said regarding the Jeffrey Goldberg journalist saying that he leaked a CIA operative when he didn't, which just shows you that Jeffrey Goldberg's heads up as you know what. Secretary of State Pete Hegseth slammed the Atlantic on Wednesday over its reporting on Signal chat, group chat, where he gave updates on the top administration officials that inadvertently included a journalist. Hegseth made the remarks while addressing reporters from the tarmac in Hawaii. And we have that right here for you, folks.
Texting war plans. Nobody's texting war plans. Well, I noticed this morning, out came something that doesn't look like war plans. And as a matter of fact, they even changed the title to attack plans because they know it's not war plans. There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information. You know who sees war plans? I see them every single day. I looked at them this morning. I looked at attack plans this morning. You know who does attack plans and war plans? Men like that admiral right there, Paparo for the Indo-Pacific, or Eric Kurilla, our general in CENTCOM. They do attack plans and war plans. And thank God we have those leaders who do it and do it well, and our enemies know it. My job, as it said atop of that, everybody's seen it now, team update is to provide updates in real time. General updates in real time, keep everybody informed. That's what I did. That's my job. The war fighters will take the fight to the enemy, and I love what they do. And with President Trump's leadership, our enemies are on notice. We will have peace through strength, and we'll keep putting our troops first. Thank you very much. We're heading off.
Strike plan for 4 days launch. Mr. Secretary.
Pete, you're one of the best, baby. Pete, I love you. Sign my chest. He's so good. I love that. If you notice, all of these guys, they will address the situation, but then they're always giving like a nice line item for the American people of, look, It was a great strike. It was what we should be focused on. We went boom, boom on the terrorists and it was awesome. Absolutely love it. John Ratcliffe did it. Yeah, Pete Hegseth doing it. So always injecting that, you know, we love our troops. We keep putting our troops first. It's the president's leadership. It's our enemies are on notice. Like, you're addressing the news of the day, but you're also taking a hold of that news and even getting out your message, which is, I mean, that is classic communication. That's classic Trump, baby. You also have Caroline Leavitt here hammering Jeffrey Goldberg at press conference regarding this whole thing. And you might be thinking, Brad, you got a clip of that? I want to see Caroline. She's so pretty and smart. I do. I absolutely do. But before I show it to you, you got to hit that like button because it does help support the show. It pushes our channel out to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel. And you know how YouTube loves, just absolutely loves shadow banning our work here. So you hitting that like button does more than you know, folks. More than you know. Here we go.
Unfortunately, all of this good is happening for our country. This administration is working hard on behalf of the American public every day, but the mainstream media continues to be focused on a sensationalized story from the failing Atlantic magazine that is falling apart by the hour. Here are the facts. The National Security Advisor has taken responsibility for this matter, and the National Security Council immediately said, alongside the White House counsel's office, that they are looking into how a reporter's number was inadvertently added to this messaging thread.
That's what I want to know.
We have said all along that no classified material was sent on this messaging thread. There were no locations, no sources or methods revealed, and there were certainly...
I mean, the method was kind of revealed, right? F-18's coming in hot, boys. Everybody take a shot. Right? The next text message, another F-18 just took off. Big bomb. Take another shot, right? They're doing a drinking game with it. Yeah. The F-18 thing was real. The drinking and the bombs thing, that's not so real. But, you know, you gotta do a little bit of embellishment.
No war plans discussed. The Atlantic has even admitted this themselves. Their release of these internal messages validates the truth, which we have been saying all along. If this story proves anything, it proves that Democrats and their propagandists in the mainstream media know how to fabricate, orchestrate, and disseminate a misinformation campaign quite well. And there's arguably no one in the media who loves manufacturing and pushing hoaxes more than Jeffrey Goldberg.
And Caitlin Collins and CNN. We should add that at the end, Caitlin, next time. It's okay.
Goldberg is an anti-Trump hater.
Caroline.
He is a
Sorry, Caroline. I called her Caitlin, but Caitlin Collins of CNN. We got to add her at the end. Maybe a couple others, but we'll get there. It's still a couple months.
Registered Democrat. Goldberg's wife is also a registered Democrat and a big Democrat donor who used to work under who? Hillary Clinton. This is the same
It's almost like your show host here made the connection for you early on with Benghazi, with Hillary Clinton, with the cell phones, the private servers, the bleach pit, the smashing of the hammers for you. I got you guys. I got you. Now you're seeing what I'm doing. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Jeffrey Goldberg, who infamously lied about weapons of mass destruction to get us into the Iraq War, which cost trillions of dollars and thousands of American soldiers. And how else has Goldberg discredited himself? By absurdly claiming that President Trump was Vladimir Putin during the 2016 campaign, by peddling the Russia hoax that tried to hijack President Trump's first term, by inventing the suckers and losers hoax to help Joe Biden in the 2020 election, by peddling a hoax about President Trump involving Gold Star families to help Kamala Harris in the 2024 election,
She is just pummeling this guy.
Campaign at the time vigorously denied. Jeffrey Goldberg didn't care. There's more, but we don't have all day, and we can now add this Signal hoax to this very long list.
Oh, I love it. Just a few pop shots at the beginning, right? Just on the onset. Now the pop shots, right? The body shots were for the Atlantic, right to Jeffrey's ribs, just right there where there's no muscle, just right under. And then, right, when he's a little bit dazed, right, he's tired out. You really wore the guy's body out. Then it was nothing but just headshots the entire time. Just boom! Just endless. And that's the energy you need here in the morning, folks. And I'm going to bring it for you. Damn, Caroline. dude, you don't, folks, if you, jeez, I'm watching the playback of what I just did. God. I'm almost out of coffee. Well, I told you Caitlin Collins would come up sooner or later, and Caroline was in the White House press briefing yesterday, and she shut down Caitlin Collins, saying, I'm not going to take a follow-up question from you. I love it. Trump has been putting her in her place for quite some time, and now the entire Trump team seems to be doing so, and it kind of makes her look like little, makes her look tiny. Not so big, are you, Caitlin? And I think this is important because of the way in the prior administration that you had Jim Acosta in the seat acting like a dipshit. So they need to nip this in the butt early on. I think they're doing so.
I've now been asked and answered this question 3 times by the both of you, and I've given you my answer. The president feels the same today as he did yesterday.
Okay.
Philip.
On my follow-up on what you had just
No,
said.
go ahead, Philip.
Caitlin,
I'm not taking your follow-up. Philip, go
I have a
ahead.
follow-up on something you just said, though, Caroline. That's
Caitlin,
regarding
I'm not
Jeffrey
taking
Goldsberg.
your follow-up. Philip, go ahead. I have called on you. Thank you.
Vice President.
I'm not taking your follow-up. You're not running the show, Caitlin. Caroline is. We got a lot more news to cover, folks. Again, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, we are a one-man ship here. We have no producers. We got no editors. It is me, just Bald Brad, putting in the work for you. And I'd appreciate if you hit that like button. If you feel like we deserve a follow, we do this each and every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We go through all the news stories, the top headlines that you need to know about. And that's why I think this should be your show in the morning. That way you're prepared going into all your other podcasts and you have a good idea of what the hell is going on here. Now, we have one of our new favorites. It's been 4 years. I don't have favorites easily, folks. Okay, you got to understand that. In that White House press briefing room, we only have 3, and we're about to bring in 4. You got Philip Wegman of Real Clear Politics. He's actually number 1. You got Peter Doocy, baby, the gladiator of Fox News is number 2. Then you got Wonder Woman of Fox News. Jackie Heinrich's number 3. Now, I'm not bringing in number 4 yet, but we're going to decide as time goes on if Kara is going to be number 4. And here she is. Talk about journalism.
First and foremost, thank the administration for the election integrity executive order, because so many journalists for 4 years were banned from talking about this very subject. So thank you to the administration for that. My question is, yesterday, President Trump, when signing the order, said that there is more to come when it comes to election integrity. Would that include same-day voting and hand-counted paper ballots? And why are Democrats so against election integrity measures like obviously proof of citizenship when it comes to voting in a United States election?
Well, it's a very good question. You'll have to ask the Democrats why they're against so many common sense things, not just mandating voter ID. Why are they against men and women's sports? Why are they against deporting foreign terrorists from American soil who have been designated a foreign terrorist organization? I'm referring to Tren de Aragua. As for the election integrity executive order that the president signed yesterday, this is in an effort to restore trust in American elections. There were more than 10 steps taken, 10 executive actions taken throughout this one order. It directs the department, or the Attorney General rather, in Homeland Security to prevent non-citizens from any involvement in administering elections. There's also another host of actions. We can provide the fact sheet for you, but it's a very strong election integrity executive order, and the president would also like to see Congress do something about this very important issue.
And I think you're going to need Congress, but it's a question that correlates to what we talked about yesterday with Donald Trump signing an EO, an executive order regarding election integrity. And I think it's something that needs to happen. And I don't care which side is cheating. Cheating is cheating, and I don't think you should be doing it. And remember, we covered the study that was done where you had 17% of Americans admitting election fraud, that they did somebody else's ballot, and then it kept going with other initiatives in terms of what they did in terms of election fraud. And one of them was like 21%. It was bonkers how many millions of Americans committed election fraud, and it just doesn't need to happen. You can clean it up really quick. Well, folks, let's give a shout out here really quick to one of our sponsors, and it's the one that we love and the one that we know, baby, and it's the one we support. And that is Rumble Premium, folks. This sponsorship is from Rumble themselves, one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble, we've talked about it a lot, first started in 2013, folks, they built a platform for small creators such as me, Bald Brad, and you, fellow patriots. They didn't censor. They didn't have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one, absolutely no one thought platforms would censor political conversations or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. Facebook literally admitted to it multiple times, and they fell to the pressure of the Biden-Harris administration. Rumble did not. Rumble held the line, baby. They stood strong. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to you fine patriots. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them, which is a major problem when you're trying to work a media network such as Rumble. Corporate America is fighting free speech. Corporate America is trying to remove free speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it, baby. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in the fight and have the means, baby, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes our human right to free speech, baby. Rumble is offering $10 off with promo code STUDIO, all caps. When you purchase an annual subscription, go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO, baby, for that $10 off. Like I said, if you have the means and you believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, well, just watching us over here at Rumble is what we can ask of you, and we appreciate it. Also, if you want to move your YouTube membership over to Rumble, screw YouTube. Join us over at Rumble. Join us on Locals, and that community on Rumble is going to grow, folks. Just to let you know, like 25% plus of our viewers, our subscribers watch the show. 25% of our viewers that follow us on Rumble watch us at Rumble. You have 0.3% over at YouTube. Not even 1% of our subscribers over at YouTube watch the Bald Brad Show. They can't find it. They don't know where to get it. They're not being updated on it. 0.3. I did the math as a math guy. 25% over at Rumble, 0.3. How does that one work out? And you're going to tell me that YouTube ain't doing some funky stuff? You got to go over to Rumble. And also with Rumble Premium, you're going to get everybody else's content, including our Dark MAGA podcast that is only available on Rumble Premium. And it gets spicy, man. I'll tell you what, that chat gets spicy, baby. Rumble does not suck. Rumble is awesome, and Hans has it right. Rumble rocks. I love it. I love it. All right. This one, we took a hit yesterday. There's a hit here. Appeals court blocks Trump administration's deportation flights and Alien Enemies Act immigration suit. So I'm going to break this down for you, folks, okay? So there's a few key issues that are at play. And the reason why I want to break down this court case is because when we did this during our Dark MAGA podcast, you guys really liked it. And you said, hey, let's do this some more. So let's do it, baby. Now, here is the use of the Alien Enemies Act that's been going on here. So the Trump administration invoked this 18th century wartime law to justify immediate deportations. And I think he rightfully did so. The law also allows the president to detain or even just remove nationals of a hostile nation during times of war or conflict, which is what's happening right now with the gangs from Venezuela. Tren de Aragua. The administration claimed Venezuelan nationals, specifically alleged gang members, posed a threat to national security. Yeah, I would say so. And if anybody thinks differently, you got to explain that one to me. What do you think they're here just for to get a nice job and a cush corporate office gig and be okay with their tattoos on their head that says Tren de Aragua or like MS-13 here, MS, and then 13 on the side of their head, and they're trying to do your taxes? Really? I don't know. Constitutional due process concerns were in play here, where the plaintiffs, who are the Venezuelan nationals, by the way, argued that they were not given enough time to challenge their deportations or seek relief through habeas corpus. They didn't have enough time to prove that they were illegal aliens and that they should be staying here. Let that one sink in. They didn't have enough time to prove that they actually weren't terrorists. This is where we're at as a country, folks. It's not good. The court questioned whether the administration violated due process protections by moving too quickly with deportations. The main concern was whether deported individuals were even given a fair chance to contest their classification as gang members before being sent to El Salvador. That is a real thing from the article itself, by the way. They didn't get a fair chance to contest that the classification they were actually gang members. It doesn't matter. They're illegals. I said this time and time again. It doesn't matter if you're a gang member. You're gone. You're illegal. Boom. The federal court's response to all of this and the temporary restraining order that was put in place was that the district judge of this whole thing issued a temporary restraining order, also known as a TRO, and they're going to be blocking the administration's use of the Alien Alien Enemies Act for deportations. So basically all this stuff is being halted, which is not helpful right now by removing actual violent people. And I'm going to say this again because the Democrats are thinking these people are kumbaya. They are cutting people's heads off and using them as soup and cereal bowls, folks. They're wearing people's teeth as necklaces. You know, when you hear a cling, 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 those are people's teeth that are dangling from their ears because they're crazy. The judge his ruling halted further deportations until this case was even reviewed properly. Who knows how long that's going to take? He also ordered the administration, get this, to return. Come here. Come here. No. He ordered the administration to return deported individuals back to the United States. So they have to go back to El Salvador, remove those individuals from that prison, and they get to come back to bring back illegal aliens back into the country. Please, I know you guys get this. That is freaking bonkers. You have judges now advocating to bring back illegal immigrants into the country. This is why we're breaking it down. This is why it's important. Yes, it's unreal. I know. Everything is ass backwards still with these freaking psychos. Now, the appeal itself to the district court was that the Trump administration appealed to the judge regarding this TRO, and they argued that the judge was overstepping his authority and interfered with executive power over immigration, which I actually do believe is true here. And what's the point? The case being made here is, dude, you're allowing illegal immigrants to come back into the country, and not just like, the guy, extra farm hands, we'll get him on an H-1B visa, it's going to be fine. No, these people are murdering people. He's allowing murderers, rapists, drug traffickers, human traffickers, sex traffickers to come back into the country. It's Joey 2.0. Now, what was the decision? The decision was 2-1. So there's 3 people. And I'm sure you can guess what some of these people, who they like, Democrats, of course, and who they were put in forth by. Some of them were put forth by Obama. And so the court declined to issue a stay, meaning that the restraining order remains in place, basically further blocking any other deportations or just deportations. Judge Millett, who was the other one here, is an Obama appointee. Now, do you want to guess where they went? Do you think they sided with the Trump administration, or do you think they didn't? Well, he was particularly aggressive, allegedly, in his questioning the administration themselves, and argued that the courts were not paralyzed from reviewing the president's actions. Yeah, but you could have reviewed it and still allowed the deportations to take place. It's not like you don't know where these people went. They went to El Salvador, just like the same way you know where they went, and you're asking to bring them back into the country, which is bonkers. And the question is what happens when they come back in the country? Do you just let them roam free? That wasn't mentioned. I don't know what happens. Do they stay in a detention center? Judge Henderson, who was a Bush appointee, concurred, stating that the government had not demonstrated a likelihood of success on the merits. The dissenting judge was Justin Walker, who you can guess who was appointed by Mr. Trump himself, would have granted the administration's request to continue deportation. So it was an Obama appointee and it was a Bush appointee that voted against the administration. Now, the question is that what do you do here? Like, say they do their review and they say, yeah, this isn't legal, you can't do it. Well, is that overstepping the executive branch as the judicial branch? I don't know. So this might go up to the Supreme Court. So you got Attorney General Pam Bondi did come out and vowed to take the case to the Supreme Court, calling the lower court's decision an overreach in executive power. I would think so. Yeah, this actually does sound like that. Furthermore, the Trump administration also indicated it might invoke the State Secrets Act, which would block further court inquiries into deportation process, which might not be a bad idea. The legal and political implications of all this, folks, to kind of add in here, is that the case just highlights what's going on with the ongoing tensions between the courts. You also have the difference between the executive branch, the judiciary over immigration policy. I mean, this is a cluster bleep. And I'd also like to point out that courts have historically deferred to executive on immigration matters. So now we're just going against presidents here. They're kind of saying, hey, you know what? That's part of the executive branch. You're executing the laws in the books. They're part of the national security. and we're going to leave those matters up to them. Not here. Nope. Especially involving national security, but this case suggests judicial skepticism toward Trump's use of wartime laws for deportation. Well, it turns out when you have an invasion happening at your southern border of terrorists, murderers, rapists, I would say that's a time for maybe even declare war, which might happen against the cartels. We'll find out. The Justice Department, furthermore, refused to disclose details about the deportations, suggest they may invoke state secret privilege, which could shield key evidence from the court view. Now, the due process and habeas corpus aspect of the ruling underscores that even in immigration cases, due process rights remain a key constitutional issue. So we'll see what goes on with that. But right now, the stuff's halted. And the question is, does Trump follow the court's orders and not continue with these deportation flights? Or does he follow it? Not follow? I don't know, folks. But that's the case, man. And I almost fell over my chair yesterday reading that. I could not believe that case. So we're bringing back the violent gang members, folks. And then you can thank Democrats, right? You can thank them. I've told you this, and I show you the proof almost every day. Every week I show you the receipts. Democrats love violent crime. They love the murderers. They love the sex traffickers, the fentanyl. Don't let them tell you otherwise. From the judges to the judiciary to the executive when Biden was here. Every time in California, at a state level, a local level, they love the homelessness. They love the crime. They love the smash and grabs. They fucking vote in Prop 47 to increase the smash and grabs by making it just a misdemeanor. Every aspect you look at from that party thrives on violence. They're burning down dealerships. 4 or 5 years ago, folks, they were burning down our cities. Billions of dollars. They're shouting at Teslas. They're wanting to chop off your child's genitals. They want to put in indoctrination methods in the education system and the college system. Any which way you look, you're going to see a common theme, and that common theme is the Democrats wanting to do crazy stuff because they're crazy. And they go, we're not crazy. You're fucking shouting at Teslas on street corners, and then you're telling us that it's not Democrats doing it when you can go up to them. You could talk to them with your mouth and go, who did you vote for? And they're going to tell you Joey. They're down the street from me, folks. Hundreds of them. And they're going to tell me, well, you don't have proof. Go talk to them. We want Elon. Well, you think it's a Republican, conservative, independent? They all want Elon in there for Doge. What the hell are they talking about? That's why you want to be on TikTok and follow me over there. Follow me on TikTok, folks. Links in the description. You'll be entertained. That's for damn sure. Well, speaking of this, you got HUD. I got to go to this view. HUD ends FHA mortgages for illegal immigrants should benefit Americans who play by the rules. So the Department of Housing and Urban Development terminated some mortgages for illegal immigrants in an effort to ensure federal home loans don't go to those living in the United States illegally. Well, there's only so much money to go around. So yeah, because now as an American, you're competing against somebody that shouldn't have been here in the first place for a loan. It's unbelievable. And they just, when you got 25 plus million illegal aliens in here in the country, more than half the population of our states, by the way. Yeah, it creates a supply and demand issue. But for some ungodly reason, Democrats love to spin this and make it seem like it's not an issue. So today, HUD terminated Biden's taxpayer-backed FHA mortgages for illegal aliens. Yes, you heard that correctly. Taxpayer-backed FHA mortgages. Anybody else getting their mortgages backed by taxpayers? Anybody? Anybody in here? Unbelievable. American taxpayers will no longer subsidize open borders by offering home loans to those who enter our nation illegally. I'm going to keep it, I'm going to keep it cool. We're going to keep it cool today. I'm not going to lose my shit. Nope. I'm not even going to hesitate looking in the chat. You guys are going to rile me up. I know you. In another post, Turner said HUD-backed mortgages should benefit Americans. Yes, that's the obvious thing. It's our fucking money. What do you mean it should affect? Yes. I'm getting riled up. And I'm almost out. This is my last little drop. I got one more drop of coffee. I need it. I need it. It's like a Democrat before they're leaving the street corner to yell at Tesla. I need one more Tesla to scream at, please. I need one more. No, Therese. I know you go by Johnny in real life because you're an actual biological male, but you're dressed as a woman. I need the Tesla. People are crazy. The initiative will help with data sharing between two agencies via newly established lines of communication, officials said. A news release said U.S. veterans stood to benefit from the move. That's always helpful. And American tax dollars should be used for the benefit of American citizens, especially when it comes to an issue as pressing our nation's housing crisis. This new agreement will leverage resources, including technology and personnel, to ensure American people are the only priority when it comes to public housing. You want to know a crazy situation that could arise here? Now, do you all remember that there were veterans put up in hotel rooms, and then the Biden-Harris administration, working with Democrat governors, removed veterans from the housing in the apartments and the like motels, the buildings where they were being allowed to stay overnight, whether that was on voucher, doesn't matter. And they were removing veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan from housing and replacing them with people from Iraq and Afghanistan. And I told you, you legitimately could run into a scenario. I'm not saying it did, but it's possible to where you fought against a guy that killed your brothers in war, and you get kicked out of that room for the guy that fought and killed guys that you battled against and was now taking the room. That's a scenario that could play out. Now, how and why did I bring that up, and how does it play into what we just read? You legitimately could have a scenario to where a veteran tried to get a home loan, a mortgage loan, and couldn't because an illegal alien took that loan already. And that illegal could be somebody with a fake passport that dude fought against way back when on the other side of the globe in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's how crazy. And where do we get that? Well, we know the actual terrorist's name that is producing these passports, and that comes from the CIA operative Sarah Adams, codenamed Superbad, that talks a lot about the tracking of these terrorists. That is her job. She tracks and finds terrorists, and she reveals it through open source data. That is a possibility, by the way. How bonkers is that shit? I'm sorry to cuss, but dude, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. Well, you got Kristi Noem here coming face to face with the alleged Tren de Aragua members during a tour of notorious El Salvador prison. This woman went there, man, and it's pretty badass that she was willing to go there. There is an ad playing for it currently, so we'll wait till the ad ends here. Give me about another 9 seconds, but I appreciate all of you joining me in the chat. And we're a small channel, and it's viewers like you guys that not only make it fun because we have the best freaking community here, but it also allows us to grow. You guys putting in the work, especially when rating people, they really love it. You guys get them amped, man. I'm telling you what, you guys plug in our channel because, when you go in there, you're a reflection of the type of community that we've created here. And from what I'm receiving feedback via emails from you guys, and also some of the people that you're shouting out by going in and rating, it's helping us out big time. So I appreciate everybody going in there, and you're maybe even finding some other cool creators. So here she is. Let me backtrack that. I have the volume at max, by the way. It's just very quiet. I'll try to see if I can hear it for you. You think these people, all right, we can just mute it. You think these people are going to be doing your taxes, folks? Are going to be your lawyers? No, these are good people. This is what Democrats want to bring back in, by the way. How do you know that they're violent gang members? I don't know. You kind of just look at them, right? I mean, there's usually normal people. Normies don't walk around with their body tattooed with MS-13 gang. I have another clip here over at X, by the way. Again, follow me on my Twitter page. If you don't, you'll get a lot of the some of the videos that we do cover here. And let me see if I can get that up for you. I post so much stuff on X. Jeez, Willis, Brad, simmer down. Simmer down. Christy Nome. Let me see if I can pull it. Maybe it'll be on her X page. The audio wasn't good there. I didn't like it. But she was there. And again, they're going to be bringing back these terrorists from El Salvador and bringing them back into the country, which is bonkers to me. So I thought I had it. I guess I don't. This is awkward. The full body tats give them away. They are not Mormon missionaries. No, they are not. Here's the clip I was looking for.
And visiting this facility. And first of all, I want to thank El Salvador and their president for their partnership with the United States of America to bring our terrorists.
Oh, come on. I just turned it. I don't know why it does that. I say this all the time. I really have no clue.
Today and visiting this facility. And first of all, I want to thank El Salvador and their president for their partnership with the United States of America to bring our terrorists here and to incarcerate them and have consequences for the violence that they have perpetuated in our communities. I also want everybody to know, if you come to our country illegally, this is one of the consequences you could face. First of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted. But know that this facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use if you commit crimes against the American people. Here at CCOT.
Now, what Democrats are complaining is how inhumane is this place? This is it. There's just steel metal racks. There's no bedding. There's no blanket. That is it, folks. And this is how they're stuffed in there. They are in there like that. And they're in there for life, by the way. None of these people are getting out. There is no way of getting out. That is it. That's, look, it turns out when you murder somebody, that's where you go in that country. You're a violent gang member. And Democrats are always, again, they're loud for those that are oppressed, but not the victims that were actually murdered. No, the victims that were actually raped. You still don't hear them. They couldn't even stand for Laken Riley, folks. I mean, the president could barely get it out of his mouth, meaning Joe Biden. Give me a break. Furthermore, you have a top MS-13 violent gang member arrested in Virginia operation. This is breaking news, by the way. It's like 6 minutes ago, breaking news. In a significant law enforcement operation, authorities have arrested a high-ranking leader of the MS-13 gang in Virginia. I'm sure Democrats will fight on behalf of them, right? Get the ACLU in there. Now, this person's a good guy. Oh, yeah, he's doing community service. He's cleaning up the freeways. He might be after this. Who knows? This collaborative effort involved multiple agencies, including the FBI, ICE, ATF. The operation, which took place early this morning, aims to dismantle the gang's operations in the United States. And like I said, folks, the Democrats are going to fight every which way they can for these gang members because they love it. And I'm gonna repeat this till I'm kicking a dead horse with it. They love it. Their actions show they love it. Their words might say otherwise, but they are totally into it. So Pam Bondi said, "I'm proud to announce that earlier this morning, our brave law enforcement officers conducted a successful operation that captured a top MS-13 national leader. DOJ will not rest until we make America safe again." And she's in there looking good. Only Trump's team can walk in there like that. Dan Bongino, baby, comes out and says, "I told you we were coming too late." Boom, baby. Top MS-13 leader arrested. Here's Cash, FBI director, following the MS-13 gang member.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops.
Boom, baby. That a boy, Cash. You coming out hot, huh, aren't you, buddy? And you look good in that jacket, sir. You look real good in that jacket. Hell yeah.
And we're going to continue to let good cops be cops across this country. President Trump gave us the executive decision to go after and safeguard our communities. General Bondi is our warrior of justice leading that charge. Governor Youngkin, it's an honor to be a partner in this operation with you and U.S. Attorney Siebert. This is the mandate we have. Right now, we have an American dying every 7 minutes from a drug overdose. That is a national security crisis we have not seen ever before. We have a woman or child being raped every 6.5 minutes in this country. We have a homicide twice an hour. No part of that metric is a safe and secure America. But thanks to the brave leadership of this administration and the folks that you see here, we are returning our communities to safety. As you heard, we took down this morning a top leader of MS-13. That is not done easily. That is done with brilliant law enforcement.
All that work might go down the drain because you got a bunch of Democrats that are using the judges. Oh, how do you know he's a gang member? How do you know? Here's Pam Bondi as well out there. You saw a picture of her. Now she's speaking here.
First reaction is all of our law enforcement officers are safe. That was the number one thing. They're safe. They executed a clean, safe operation, and the bad guys in custody. And thanks to the FBI, we got one of the worst of MS-13 off the streets this morning.
We were able to be out here in force to show the American people, to be here in person, that this means a lot to her and the mission. Safety is our primary concern of these communities, and we effectuated that today.
First reaction.
Can I just point something out? It's been 2 months. I mean, how many times have we seen Donald Trump's FBI, CIA director, Pete like, let's just go with Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth. How many times have we seen them out there with the troops? Pete Hegseth literally like 2 days ago, maybe even yesterday, was doing drills with Navy SEALs, you guys. The guy is working out with Navy SEALs, Green Beret, like the whole gambit constantly. When was the last time we've seen something like that? You know what would be badass? God, if anybody, I know somebody on the Trump team. I'm gonna see if I can text him later today. I want to text him this. This optics, can we get Trump just coming in with a suit with the boys? You know what I mean? The Navy SEALs. What's up, boys? Daddy's home. And start handing out cigars. And then, they're working out like, holy shit, Trump is here. Fucking, it's awesome. And then Trump goes, Pete, should we get down with the buds? Right? And then start playing like Bananeer. And then Trump takes off his jacket, right? And he's cupping up his sleeves. And everyone's like, oh shit, what's going on? Trump's going to start scrapping. And then Trump starts working out with the boys. Now you got to do it. You have to do it well because Trump's old. Okay. You got to do it well. You don't want to make him look weak. But I'd be riled up like, I can get it, Trump. Hell yeah, dude. Trump's pounding creatine and protein. It'd be badass, man. I'm telling you, that'd be freaking. When was the last time you saw a president working out with the boys? JD Vance was on the line yesterday shooting freaking a machine gun. Just the other day. I think I might have a video of that somewhere. Before we end here, hold on a second. Let me get you. JD Vance was out there with the boys as well. I mean, JD's doing it all. I don't know if I can get it up quick enough. That's what she said. I had to. It was too. I had to. It was there. I had to take the opportunity. Here's JD Vance. I didn't see Kamala Harris do this. Now, this is something Trump can do in a suit. This is something maybe Trump could get down with. You know what I mean? That would be badass. Get him out there with the suit, cufflinks. Just go, maybe stand up and do it. Or like, Doge. Doge. Alrighty. Yeah, he was also hitting some artillery shells, I believe, or something like that. Well, that is today's episode. If you want to head over to Rumble, we will be raiding somebody today. And the question is that who are we going to raid over at Rumble? Would love your assistance in trying to figure out who we will be raiding here. Here's Rumble itself. We will browse. I always like to go to politics, and usually I like to find a creator. We could go back to LFA TV if you would like. Did you guys enjoy that yesterday? He seemed like kind of a fun dude. He said he would follow us. I'm not sure if he actually did.
And happy Thursday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's crew, the LFA family.
So what's nice about going on their show is that, they have a lot of influencers that go on there. And, maybe we'll send you guys back over there today. But I'm trying to see what the Patriots want to do. Again, hop over. This does help us, folks, when you go over and help us raid. So maybe we'll go back here. Trying to see what the Patriots want to do. I'm wondering why Pam is so hesitant to take real action. Maybe she is. I mean, we don't know. We don't know how much action she's, given. Trying to figure out what the Patriots want to do here. You know what? We'll send you over here. He gave us a shout out yesterday. We'll rate him again. He's always fun.
Donald Trump was furious with Mike Waltz for
we'll do Dark MAGA.
Jeffrey Goldberg being admitted into
Yeah, I'll see you guys. I should be on at 4 for Dark
whether
MAGA.
it was on purpose, whether it was not. I'm not sure. But I'm not sure. But it was a mistake. But it was a mistake that really, thank you to